What's the deal, y'all? This your man King Eric, the media assassin, coming at y'all with another video. Subscribe, hit the like button for me. And I want to talk about this album here, Buck the World, from Young Buck from G Unit. It was an interesting story behind this album, y'all. Now, let's go back to 2006, 2007. Around the time when this album was coming out. Around this time, G Unit was on top of the world, but it was also beefing with everybody. G Unit had expanded already to another level. We talking movies, we talking video games, we talking books. 50 was on the verge of getting that vitamin water deal months after this. But with all this came drama. These niggas was beefing with everybody. We talk about Cameron, we talk about Fat Terror Squad, we talk about Game Steal. They were still beefing with everybody in the industry. The Locks, Nas, you name it. But Young Buck, it seemed like a lot of pressure was on him because Lloyd Banks' album dropped, which was The Rotten Apple, which was a disappointment to many. Tony Yayo album was considered a flop, even though if you look at those numbers now, it was seen like platinum today. But considering the machine that G Unit had behind them, and considering that everything 50 touched was platinum, anything below that was seen as a disappointment. So, Young Buck, they put the stacks on him. But keep in mind, around this time, 50 and Young Buck was also having some friction. There was some tension involved. And see, it seemed like slowly Buck was trying to be his own man. Because if you notice with this album, you don't really see a lot of G Unit appearances like the first one. The only one that 50 Cent is on is really Hold On. And he was talking ish about Cameron up there. But other than that, no G Unit member is on this album. That's what made me believe, okay, there may be a little bit of friction because they usually do a lot of features. And Buck went ahead and got a lot of people for this album. Like, he wanted to go for the home run. He got 8-Ball MJG, Trick Daddy, Snoop Dogg, Pimp C, Jeezy, T.I., Lyfe Jennings. He had this one of my favorite songs on this album too was You Ain't Going Nowhere with Latoya Williams. If y'all ain't check out that song is so fucking smooth. That's one of the best songs Buck ever put out. You had Dr. Dre producing on that. You couldn't lose with that one. But going on here with the album and going on with the back of the story, I think what happened was when Buck said he don't condone anybody smacking up kids, meaning he was talking about the Yayo situation where Yayo smacked up Jimmy Henchman kid, that sealed Young Buck's fate. Right there with 50. Because that beef was serious. And Buck going on national TV saying he don't support that whatsoever, that put basically Buck in the game territory. Like, he's being a traitor. And also add the fact that there's no G Unit members up here. There's no Yayo, there's no Banks, there's no Mobb Deep, there's none of these people up here. So that led the people to believe that Buck is trying to slowly transition into being his own man, and not to mention having started Cashville Records. But you listen to this album here, this is possibly one of the best G Unit albums to come out. One of my favorite songs up there was Lose My Mind, which was produced by Eminem. And he experimented with a different type of flow. He started experimenting with more so of the scream flow. It has that. Yeah, it's a song that could attract a rock audience in a way. Because, Eminem beats, he loved to use rock samples. So this was basically, sound like a rock sample that he used. Then he had the big homie Cocaine up here, which was for haters, which was pretty dope. Then you got some of the classic Southern features on Say It to My Face and Four Kings, which featured Jeezy, T.I., Pimp, and UGK and 8 Ball MJG respectfully. I mean, he gave it to the South on this one here. And see, Buck being the most consistent member to me next to Banks, I knew this album was going to be fire. Another favorite of mine on that album was the Cleanup Man, because that's what he called himself, the Cleanup Man. Like, you know, he was going to clean up all the bad energy that was around the G Unit. And he was going to be the one that's going to, you know, save the unit. And I think that's another way of friction that caused between G Unit when Buck called himself the Cleanup Man during a meeting. Because, you know, Prodigy alluded to this on his book. Like, he was going to, like, the brand was failing and Buck was going to save it. And, you know, a lot of them took it personally. But then you had other songs up there, Pocket Full of Paper with Jeezy, which was dope. You had Lil Jon. That was one of the last Lil Jon songs you was going to hear in a minute with Money Good. Overall, man, this album here was straight fire. And I believe had the friction did not really take place, it would have done numbers. But unfortunately, after that, then Buck and 50 started really going at it. Then came the infamous phone call with 50 leaking. That ended Buck right there. But another favorite of mine was I knew that this album was going to bang when I heard I Know You Want Me with Jazzy Faye. Because Jazzy Faye was putting out some fire at that time. Jazzy Faye was putting out some straight up dope club bangers, and Buck was perfect. This is not a traditional G Unit sounding album. Like, you could tell Buck had his 100% input on it, and the only thing 50 had to do was just give it the go. But nevertheless, the album also has some leftovers that could have made it but didn't make it. Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive was one of the hardest songs up there, but, you know, due to the content of anti-police brutality, they didn't want to leave that up there. So he did a video of it too. It was like a video montage that's out on that. Do It Myself, Selling Anything for the BG. He also has a song with Trey Songz called Gone in the Morning, which was pretty cool as well. But this was overall Buck's best album. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe, hit the like button. Holla.